discipline. I have taken discipline extremely seriously since I took up office. Dress code, punctuality, regularity, and proper behavior have been enforced. The school runs now from Monday to Friday in full swing from 8 a.m. to 2:20 p.m. At the end of the first term, report cards were issued out to the pupils. I intend to continue this trend at the end of every term. One of the old boys, Fona Sise, will be giving out token in the form of motivation to pupils who came first whenever report cards are issued. The Old Boys Association has published the principal's office. Presently, they are working on the fence and the toilets. I was able to have meetings with the various heads of departments, senior teachers, auxiliary staff, and market women. All of these meetings were successful. I have recommended names for the approval of the board to promote some teachers as senior teachers and heads of department. I was able to pay the salaries of all auxiliary staff October, November, December 2020 and January 2021. Volunteer teachers, I paid them for November, and the incentive of all the other teachers were also paid. NACIT payment for the various auxiliary staff have also been effective from April 2020 to January 2021. Mock finals will take place, of course we have shifted it now, from the 1st of March to the 12th of March 2021. We administer one test and one exams every time for the SSS2 and SSS1 pupils. The school's band is being administered now by the school administration. A Sierra Leonean lady based in the United States is presently refurbishing and also has plans to equip the school's library. The SSS teachers have reintroduced the welfare fund. I was privileged to attend the training for principals and the chairman of boards on the Education Act and the Code of Conduct for Teachers organized by the Ministry of Education and where we learn respectively. Challenges. One of the greatest challenges facing the administration is the lack of cooperation on the side of some of the teachers, of which that one is we are gradually helping ourselves with this. There are insufficient tables and chairs for the pupils, of which we want to bring to this assembly. Faithfully submitted, Mohammed S. Iboma, Principal SSS. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Principal. Do we have any questions from the floor? Yes, sir.
One shift. Both senior and junior? Oh, I see.
Entirely. Yes, of course, SS2 and SS3, we have very close to 1,050 students.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I?
Yes, please.
Mr. Principal, congratulations and well done for the report. But but I just want to observe and perhaps get your reaction with respect to NACIT payments. What? NACIT payments, is it that you are not paying from April 2020?
Yes, of course, the whole administration did not pay for auxiliary staff from April 2020 up to January 2021. And so when I took...
I thank you. Clear that now.
Okay.
Please be mindful of the fact that it's a statute and we could be held liable.
Of course, we pay interest.
Going forward, let's fix that. I'm also concerned about your challenges, although you did mention that you are getting on. What are you doing with respect to fixing the issue itself?
Of course, I'm working in collaboration with the Teaching Service Commission. We were there this past Monday. They invited us, and we are working on modalities as to how to, those who are recalcitrant, I mean the teachers, so that we can get some tougher measures on them, especially like suspending their salaries for a month or two, or doing something that will force them to work. That's what we are doing.
Otherwise, the last resort?
The last resort has to do with maybe removing them from the school.
All right. I also observed that there is somebody outside who wants to get something done. Usually, because I think these are some of the problems we face. People want to bring what they think we need. And we know what we need. You are saying we need tables and chairs. So as an alternative, can't we suggest to that individual who wants to bring something else, perhaps which we are not ready for as of now?
Well, that's our own passion, because when she came in to assist, she specified the library. And it would be very unfortunate to tell her that, no, we don't want you to renovate or refurbish the library now. Come and help us with...
Sorry, sir, it's not a matter of telling her no, but I mean, advising or suggesting that perhaps we are in need of these, if you can, and maybe that could be an addition to what she wants to get done. So it's not a matter of, yes, if I'm passionate about something, I just want to ensure it's done. And so that's the passion. But suggest that we are in need of these, which will take us to another level. So can you please, or as an addition, kind of?
That's very good, but we have already settled that one, because she came with that passion, and that one was also a one of the felt needs of the school, so we accepted it. That's why it was not stated here, because she's almost finishing the library now. Thank you. Yes, no, she's I don't want to call her a philanthropist, but she's one. She's named Manager Law. She has stayed in the United States for some time, and she came back, and she was just living at the back of the school. So she saw it as a need to come and help. Yes, it's a neighbor. The house is just back of the school.
Mr. Principal, thank you for your report.
Thank you.
But I thought furniture is part of the free education. Can't we go to education and ask them to provide furniture?
Thank you very much, Brother. The board is handling the challenges, and the principal has already reported, but I will assure you that the board is handling the challenges, and actually all what he has reported. Let us leave the question of whether the education provides or not, and let's leave it at that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Principal. Let me now call question?
Brother Chairman, I think Mr. Kroma is doing relatively good. I say it with all satisfaction because I have a son in there. Remember the last time I was before you? A maid that is with me, a ward that is with me. I'm taking care of the school. Every time he comes and inspects his book, I look at what they are doing. I really want to commend you and I really want to ask you to stay put and do the needful for the school so that we can at any time try to grow properly. Collegiate is now rising, and I pray that God will continue to strengthen you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Before you go, can we call for a motion of acceptance? Yes, it's moved by William. Seconded by Reverend. Yes. The junior secondary school report is on page 156. And we now call upon the principal.
Again, we want to welcome our new principal, Mrs. Miranda Salikol, who went through the rigors of the interview with the board, and she came out as being the best that had applied. Mrs. Salikol had been teaching in the school for a number of years. She had worked in both the junior secondary school and the senior secondary school. So I would like us to give her a round of applause. Even before she presents her report. You see, we believe in gender balance, and so we made sure we had a male and female.
Yes, Madam Principal, we are going to ask for those excerpts for highlights.
Good afternoon, all. Mr. Chairman, the General Superintendent, clergy, and officials of the WAM Collegiate, WAM Church, principals and head teachers, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings from the Board of Governors, staff, and pupils of the WAM Collegiate School. Please permit me at this juncture to introduce my humble self as the newly appointed principal, as said by the superintendent just now, of the WAM Collegiate School Junior Section, Miranda Esco, with my vice principal, who is a male, working with me. I want to say here, because I want to be cutting them short for time, we have a CTA meeting, I'm sorry to say. I took up office in October last year, and I am presently working on things that I met, which some have been done and some have been undone. I must start here by stating that though I am a principal, I have a passion for teaching, and therefore I am still teaching in the JSS section. And I am also planning that by getting to the end of the academic year, I should be doing a little bit of help to the SS section in order to help with this problem of teacher. The population for the JSS is about 558. And when we talk about discipline, I have come in with my own measures for both staff and pupils. For staff members who are defaulting, I do give queries And for pupils, I do give a white short trousers with a yellow piping at the side of the short and a red socks. School activities. The school activities which we are observing presently for the year 2021, the resuscitation day was on the 3rd of February 2021 and it was held on a low key as Mr. M.S.T. Kooma, the principal who has just left, gave a brief introduction about the school during assembly and normal classes were in progress because of the COVID-19. During the 2019 and 2021 academic, 2019 and 2020 academic year, which led into my own administration, we have some teachers who have left the school. One is Ms. Atatoka, a teacher in the area of practical arts, and one is Mr. Koka, who has left for lecturing at the Multi-Magai College of Education and Technology. The school development. In the first term of 2020-2021 academic year from the school subsidy, I have managed to do some rehabilitation in the fourth building, which is presently being used as a staff room, and a guidance and counseling room has been provided. I have also furnished the building with new chairs for teachers, and I am planning to electrify the building. I must say here that we don't have a structured staff room, but we are managing the fourth building for the JSS. I have constructed a platform for the national flag and the school's flag at the back of the school. I have also been able to pay the auxiliary staff of my section a 4-month backlog and their present salaries as the months go by. And a bid to make the school a convenient and conducive learning place, I am appealing to the Old Boys Association, the church, the Ministry of Education, non-governmental associations to help rehabilitate the back of the school fence in order to discourage pupils from truancy and to avoid security breach. Our special appeal is on behalf of my pupils and my staff, and half of my pupils, my staff, and my humble self. We are asking for the construction of a staff room, a toilet for pupils, staff, and myself. We are also asking that the doors of the 3 classrooms which are being turned to the back of the fence be turned into the compound for easy supervision. Due to the COVID-19, that is for extracurricular activities, due to the COVID-19, we have less extracurricular activities. We are sorry to say, but the choir and the scripture union are helping in order to uplift the lives of pupils and teachers spiritually. We are appreciating on the appreciation. We want to appreciate the WAM Church, the board, the Old Boys Association, some few faithful teachers, and our auxiliary staff. We want to appreciate the UNHCR for the buckets provided during Ebola, which are still being used during the COVID-19 period. We want to also appreciate our few supportive parents. We are appreciating a special person which is by the name of James Momodu Fona Sise, Esquire, and Old Boy, who has promised to be helping to motivate the kids, especially those who take the first position in each class. Finally, I would like the church to make more frequent and unannounced visits to the school and allow the chaplain to be fully involved, especially the counseling and spiritual upliftment of our pupils and teachers. I wish you a positive and faithful deliberation, and I thank you for the audience given me. Stay safe, stay blessed. God bless us all.
Thank you, Madam Principal. And can we have I'm inviting a motion for acceptance of this report. Your name.
Reverend Palmer, I so move because the report is so good and well calculated and done. God bless you.
Any questions? Any questions?
Well calculated, sir. No questions.
Not quite a question. Again, I think when something is good, it is good. Well done, madam. You've done an extremely good job. Well done. Just an observation for special appeal. Things of this nature, I think, should be taken to the board. Now, in fact, some of us are confused now because we don't know what ministry has to get done in schools, what the board has to get done, and what is public. And I believe also we should have teachers who should be able to write projects to NGOs to assist. This special appeal, as I see it here, you will come back with it next year again, and without any progress. In other words, also what I'm saying, don't wait for the assembly if you want an aid from the church itself. But I'm happy, lastly, you did mention that the church itself should take more active part and there should be unannounced visits. And I hope the chairman, our general superintendent, the chairman, and others in the board have taken notice of this. And the chaplain again should be effective because they should be able to be guiding the students. Good report. Well done again.
Is located by the youngest principal reception.
I must say, sir, very sorry about it, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I think we are all supposed to be happy about these two reports that have come from collegiate school. For years and years, the reports that used to come in to this body were nothing to write home about. So indeed, I repeat the congratulations and say congratulations and please keep it up. Thank you.
So thank you for
The next report will be from the York WM Secondary School GSS, page 143. Principal.
Again, this is a new dispensation. Again, we have a new face in front of us. I believe we have been seeing Mr. Richard Metretoka over the years, but he has retired. He retired in July, and we had to source and find someone to act in that capacity. And we have Mr. Patrick Tucker, who was teaching at St. Joseph's Secondary School, Peter, to carry on the mantle And so I want to introduce him, and you will see from the report that he is caretaker principal. We want to welcome Mr. Toka, but I can assure you that he has been doing well since he took up office. Can we all give him a round of applause?
Thank you very much, Mr. DS. Mr. Chairman, General Superintendent, Ministers, Delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I am pleased to present this report to this assembly. From October when I took over the mantle of responsibility as caretaker to date. When I took over, there was a total disrepair of the entire school, ranging from the road, which was totally unstable, the teaching staff, and the structure of the entire building. The roof of the building was profusely leaking. Whenever it is raining, the children will not withstand leaking, but we are forced to move out of the classrooms to wait for the rain to get into the classes. Besides, there was nothing that will restrict people entering into the main school compound, meaning the place was not secure. People enter and leave as they wish. But at the time we visited the school, being my first time alongside the General Superintendent and the Education Secretary, in order to get first-hand information and to identify areas that needed immediate intervention. Thank God, there was some amount of money in the school coffer and some other amount that was made available by the leadership of the mission. Estimates were done by the contractor and procurement of materials was in place and rehabilitation of work started. The contractors being very hardworking, we are able to complete the work on time. Immediately after the work, it rained very seriously, but thank God we are not able to see leakages. But an advice was given by the contractor that we need to change more of the zinc as some of them are running out. The changing of the roof went alongside the replacement of the ceiling in 5 classrooms as they were badly damaged and dangerous to the safety of the children. As some of the boards and cellotapes were hanging and waiting to fall. The 3 entrances into the compound, one was totally sealed, the other 2 were given gates. Now gaining entrance into the main building is a problem. I have tried very hard with the help of the General Superintendent and team to fill 2 classrooms with furniture and the provision of 3 blackboards for the commencement of the senior secondary school this academic year. There are enough classrooms in the school, but they are all empty with no furniture. Estimated amount of all repairs done so far is about 16 million, and the rehabilitation is still ongoing as there are other areas that still need help. The school enrollment 2020-2021. The school enrollment for the academic year 2020-2021 has grown up a little from 123 to 162, and there is hope that it will go over 200 with the commencement of the SSS. Below is the roll according to classes. JSS 1, boys 33, girls 8, total 41. JSS 2, boys 43, girls 18, total 61. JSS 3, boys 44, girls 16, total 60. Total number of boys 120, girls 42, and the entire total is 162. capacity of the school. There is this challenge of having been coded teachers and of course qualified teachers to handle some subject areas. There are 9 teachers in all, 1 female and 8 male. Names and qualifications of teachers. 1, Mr. Patrick Chokla, who is right in front of you. TC, Diploma in Stores Management, BA General, Postgraduate Studies in Diploma, and Caretaker Principal. Mr. Charles, GA Commander, HTC, MMT, CET, and BA General. Mr. Lamin Kamara, National Diploma and Bachelor of Education. Mr. James B. Kumar, TC and Bachelor of Education. Mr. Saidi Tijan Kano, HTC Secondary. Mr. Titus J. Karimu, HTC Secondary. Mr. Henry K. Dr. TC General. Mr. Titus SMH Samora. Well, at that time, when I was compiling this report, I could not see Mr. Samora to get his qualifications. Mrs. Rosalind F. Kamara West. The ones with the asterisk are teachers pin code, together with 2 volunteer teachers who have retired but have passion for the job and are rendering help to the kids. There are 2 other teachers who normally come around to render help from around. There are only 2 pin-coded teachers in the school, the caretaker principal and Mr. James B. Coleman. The activities of the teachers are very cooperative. They give all their best to help the kids. The care results, September 2020. The performance of the Becker pupils was very much impressive. Out of 64 pupils who sat for the examination, 1 male and 1 female got an aggregate of 11, which was an excellent performance. And 2 of them again, 1 male and 1 female, got an 20, which was considered the best result. Analysis of the result can be seen in tabular form. Pass in 8 subjects, 62. Pass in 765 subjects is 0. Credit in 8 subjects, 46. Credit in 7 subjects, 10. Credit in 6 subjects, 2. Credit in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 subject is 0. 2 pupils were absent. Workshops. Teachers, including myself, have been attending workshops on various areas, such as the code of conduct for teachers, so that they will know their do's and don'ts in the teaching field. Workshop on the use of tabs for senior secondary school principals for information collection and supply to the ministry when asked upon to supply data. Another one was connecting classrooms conducted by British Council. Book supplies supported by the ministry. Supply of textbooks were made to the school early in November last year, 2020. It was meant for junior secondary school and senior secondary school. And the 2 main core subjects were supplied: English, language, and mathematics. Support have been coming from the proprietor, the general superintendent, his deputy, the circuit superintendent, the education secretary, who all happen to be members of the board, for finding a way to the initial rehabilitation of the school. The community, especially the parents of these pupils, who have started some contribution so that we can change and have better doors with locks and keys to the classroom. Much is expected from the church and the community at York for helping hand. My plans. My plan is to see that all the classrooms are filled with furniture and pupils not to see any empty classroom. And I want to see how best my school will compete with other schools that have been doing extremely well in public exams. I want to see the school on its right footing for development. Everybody's hands should be on deck. There are plans to plant iron rod on the balusters to protect the school from intruders. The balusters are not guaranteed. Even recently, one was broken with all the efforts we are making. There are also plans to pave the assembly ground to avoid dust in the dry season. The pavement will help to beautify the compound. I want to plant trees and flowers to add to the beautification of the school compound. Challenges. One of the challenges is the welfare of the teachers, especially those who are not on PIN code. The money they are receiving as stipend is very minimal, and let their cases be channeled through the Teaching Service Commission so that they can get their PIN codes. Another challenge is I am expecting some teachers, but we need accommodation for them, though the GS and his team are working on it. The painting of the school is another challenge. We are kindly pleading to well-wishers to help in that direction. And we want the color to match with the color of the new uniform, which is butter color at the top and gray at the bottom. There is still challenge in trying to complete the ceiling of the remaining classrooms and be filled with furniture, including the staff room and the office of the principal. In the staff room, teachers sit on benches instead of chairs. It is pathetic. Another big challenge is the demarcation of the school boundary, without which people will encroach on the small piece in the near future. Most probably, the school will have to grow in the near future, and the need will arise to put up another structure. Where will it be constructed? All these challenges highlighted can be achieved through the help of the WAM connection, the government, or well-wishers. I hereby thank you all and wish the conference a meaningful and successful deliberation. Faithfully submitted, Patrick Miller, Doctor, caretaker principal.
Thank you, Mr. Principal, and thank you for your report. This has been welcoming to the assembly, because all the other reports we used to have, they were not so encouraging. I hope you will succeed in getting your plan fixed in place. Thank you. Can we invite him? Motion, please.
Not a motion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, members, I want to thank the principal for the report. And I also want to say that it's a great job. Your kids, the 8, they're all going to go big now. We can see from the decade result that they are now producing aggregate 11. That's very good. Little drops of water, little drops of sand. Yeah, we create that good sandwich for your kids to produce fish. We want to thank you very much, brother. And we want to thank your team. We want to pray that God will help you as you go through. Thank you, members of your board.
Any other?
Thank you, Mr. Principal. I'm very pleased with the various changes
doing so because I can recall that national executive meeting, and the report was made that the ceiling of the building was falling. It was coming up, and it putting the children in at the risk of serious injury or even death. So we were very, very concerned, and we did make a contribution. And I must say, I was thinking that the GS would have included that improvement in your school in his report, but the report was quiet on it. There was no mention. But now you have amended it, and you have said it, and I congratulate you. I do hope that you will really, with the new views and the intention that you have, that you will do this work. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Sorry, but I beg you to speak just now. I just want to comment for the C.A. Campbell and family, because the improvement is talking about the family of C.A. Campbell contributed immensely. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Yes, any other?
Thank you, yes. Thank you very much, caretaker President. In spite of all the challenges you highlighted, the grouping of SSS, you have about 200 population. So do you have that in mind, in spite of all the challenges, and when you hope that will commence?
Well, it has already started. So we are just working on it now.
Any other? That question, and the appeal is here for us because we need benches, we need desks and chairs. And if you can get that, I'm sure definitely Mr. Principal will be happy so that this we take the first step forward.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Talker. I just wanted to inquire a follow-up question to what the last speaker asked. How many pupils do you have in the SSS now? And are there adequate classrooms and teachers to embark on that?
We have just started it. We have about 25 of them, and they all took the exams in the school year, and they have decided not to go anywhere but to continue there in the school. So we have that number as of now, and we are still expecting more to come. And probably by next year we'll be having more, because a lot of them, because there was no senior secondary school, they went down to Tuke. They are there, but they are planning to return every day by lunchtime. The secondary school, the SSS school at Tuke, there, and the boys and girls will come over to our school, watching at how things are unfolding, and they are promising us that they will be returning. So we are expecting that by next year it will be more than that.
We have the staff.
Well, we are expecting more teachers by next year. The only thing we need accommodation for them. That we have discussed that with the general superintendent, and they are working on it together with the circuit superintendent.
Any other?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I am a little bit confused. What's the difference between a caretaker and an acting principal and a principal? I want to know, why is he a caretaker principal and not an acting principal or a principal? Is he there to take care of the yard or something? Or I don't know.
Probably that can be answered by the education secretary.
Mr. Chairman and members of this body, for the time being, for reasons best known to the board and to the church, we have decided, even though it is accepted, but we have decided to have that nomenclature of caretaker principle. I will not bother this body to go as far as to explain the circumstances surrounding it. But may I just speak and say that let us be reminded of the fact that the governance of education is in the hands of the ministry. And when once the ministry has certain set standards, and we have not been able to reach those, but at the same time they are able to accept us with what we have. We tell them this is what we have. They allow you to use that nomenclature. And for the responsibility, be it principal and be it so long as you got onto that point and you are on that stage, you are performing the role of principal. But it will be wrong for us to call you a principal who have not gone through the rubrics. So for better belief, we are calling him an acting principal or caretaker principal.
Thank you, Brother Teacher. And I now invite a motion for acceptance of this report.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mr. Principal, thank you. Our next report comes from Lati High Foster, Junior Secondary School. Page 166. Page 166. Okay, 166. Page 166.
Good afternoon to you all. On behalf of my humble self here, as acting principal and the Latihad Foster WAM Junior Secondary School, Mangalore, I bring you greetings from my place of work. First of all, I must apologize the report. The report here has some errors and omissions, which I think you might come across while looking at it. So I'm asking for apology because of urgency in preparing it. Report from the Latihad Foster WA Junior Secondary School, Mangalore, to the annual assembly for the year 2020-2021. Mr. Chairman and General Superintendent, Assistant General Superintendent, clergy, distinguished delegates and observers, I greet you all in the name of Jesus Christ. My administration is a year old now, since I became an acting principal, succeeding Reverend S.H. Young. The school had a roll of 95 pupils, 42 whom are boys and 53 girls. The staff now is 7 in number, as one has left the school for inner pasture. Names of teachers, qualifications, and subjects taught. Mr. Augustine S. Mara, qualification TCHTC, BSc, diploma, and diploma also studies theology. He teaches integrated science, agric science, and language arts. Mr. Ali Kanu, HTC Secondary, Mathematics. Of course, two of us there are the only qualified people to teach us there that are teaching vigorously by the help of 5 teachers whom we are teaching without qualifications. On my inception, I urge them for them to go to college so that they can prove themselves. And these are the teachers. Jonathan Sandy, presently at college, he is teaching mathematics. Hassan Fona, also at college, teaching social studies, language arts. Musa Kuma, also at college, teaching PhD, business studies. Samuel Kago, college also, teaching CPA agriculture. And Usman Kuma at college also, teaching language arts and RMA. Classes are distributed as follows. In Form 1, the number of boys is 16, and number of girls 27, making the total number of people 43 in Form 1. And Form 2, 21 boys, 18 girls, making the total number of people 39. Form 3, 5 boys, 8 girls, making the total number of 13. So the grand total here is 95 in the whole school. Number of pupils admitted for the year 2020-2021. Admitted in JSS 1, 12 boys and 20 girls, making it a total of 32 pupils. In 2021, the school presented 11 candidates for the Becker for the basic education examination certificate, and the results are analyzed as follows. Two pupils scored an aggregate of 20, 2 scored aggregate of 21, 2 scored aggregate of 22, 1 aggregate 24, 3 aggregates 25, and 25, 1 scored aggregate 27, all with 7 credits, making it 100% pass. Mr. Chairman, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the following are the number of pupils that passed and also admitted in Form 1 and 2. Form 1, 2, and 3. Form 1, JSS 1, 12 boys, 20 girls, 32 total. JSS 2, 18 boys, 21, giving a total of 39. And JSS 3, boys 8 and 5 girls, making a total of number of 13. And 11 were repeaters, so making the total number of 95. A total of 32 pupils were admitted as new intake for the year 2020. School community relationship. Mr. Chairman, distinguished delegates, since my resumption in the school, the community relations still continue to be good as members in the community show interest in the development of the school. They often visit the school to help solve some problem. Example of such problem as the plastering of the school by the chief's son, who promised to do more. Challenges and constraints. Since I took over the school, I have been faced with many challenges that almost made me to lose confidence in my ability to manage the affairs of the school. However, God by my side, I courageously continue to push to the success of the school. Teachers' issue. Quite a good number of teachers have not been cooperating in areas of punctuality and job performance, making it tedious for me. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, running the school has continued to be challenging as I need more support. Teachers' morale. It has not been very easy in getting teachers to work since they go without salary and incentive to motivate them. The subsidy sent in is forthcoming, but it appears to be very small for the monthly incentive for the teachers. A good number of the teachers are in college pursuing their studies are not with salary, as this is adversely affecting the school as I stand on this. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, teachers are not willing to go to work because of the distance covered on daily basis. With regard to this, I have paid several visits to the Teaching Service Commission, TSC, in the District Education Office in McKinney, so as to get qualified teachers who will support my administration. But yet, no avail. People's issue. From my observation, I found out that people always go to school very late and not willing to dress up. Sometimes, most of them stay at home, absenting themselves, without any substantial excuse. On attitude to work, it's surprised that people's attitude towards work is becoming so alarming, as they have been used to stay away from school on the last day of the week, Fridays, which they see as a day that is not important. School structure and furniture. The school structure is still incomplete and needs urgent attention, as it is very insecure considering the location. The school lacks good sitting facilities for the teachers and principal's office. It has very few benches and desks that the principal often manage to repair. Windows, doors, roof, and the general plastering of the entire school still needs urgent attention. The look of the school has even demotivated both the parents and pupils who want to go in for the school. With the above concerns, I see it very difficult for the growth of the school. I strongly believe that if management and government pay urgent attention to improve the school condition and look into the affairs of the teachers and secure the entire school by constructing a fence will help solve some problems of the school. Access to information about the school. Access to information about the school has been difficult. However, as of now, I'm glad to inform you that getting information has been a thing of the past, and I can boast of sufficient information now. Student attendance. I am pleased to report to this August body that through desperate effort, I have tried to get both the pupils and the teachers to come to school early and on time. I am gradually succeeding, though it's still a challenge to me. Gratitude. Mr. Chairman, sir, Assistant General Superintendent, members, all, as I conclude this report, I wish to express my sincere thanks to the General Superintendent and his assistant and Education Secretary for making it possible to be in that school, and to Reverend Isaac Kuma and the Section Chief, Pa'ama Mrs. for their commendable support and concern to me and to the school and to the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary School for the support of school materials and approval of the school, and to the newly constituted Board of Governors of that of Latihide Foster WM Junior Secondary School. I am sure that the school will continue to stand first among equals with the motto, "A light to the world." The following are the members of Board of Governors approved by the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary School Education. Reverend Donald O. Williams, Mr. Alfonso O. Pratt, Mr. Julius Fisher, Pa'ama Mrs. Ms. Gladys Branch, Reverend S.I. Kodma, Mr. William Coker, Mr. Ibrahim Sori, Chief Education Officer and his representative, Mr. Sule Sise, the city chairman, and my humble self, Mr. Augustine Esmala, being the secretary. Let me thank you all for listening. God richly bless you all. Submitted by Mr. Augustine Esmala, acting principal.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Principal, for your report. Any questions? Thank you once. Can we give it a cheer, please? The motion of acceptance of this report. Oh, thank you. For an opinion. Second that.
Few clarifications, because when I shall be coming to read I give you the rundown of the education committee report. How it has to be in a complete state. So am I allowed to make a few clarifications, sir?
By all means, Brother Fisher.
Right. In the first instance, I want to thank Mr. Mara for the report. But can I start, Mr. Mara, by observing that one of the things we would not like to see happening for future reference is a failure on your part to report to this body that through the effort of our office, we are supplied with a quantity of materials, furniture by the Ministry of Education. I would have loved to see it here so that it will sound as if we are doing all of this and we really show gratitude. So I would have loved to see a section. Don't have anything. The children are sitting on ground and that kind of thing. The picture is painted is so bad. But let it be that you receive a consignment of material. You also receive a quantity of furniture for your school. You also reported what could have been in this report that because the window facing the bush is not good, thieves came in and stole, so that you don't make the assembly feel as if we sent you to that place to punish you. You are seeking support in whatever form from the body that is here, that is the church, and at the same time from the Ministry of Education. Now, the next thing, members of this house, the clear picture here is that the teachers who are at mandate for a long time, I will be facing the executive in March. I will receive their invitation as a result of some misunderstanding. These are people who may be considered as helpers. I would love to see you leave this place with the understanding that that man don't can assembly, can't tell me say they get teacher. Who's why they can't talk now like you report? They are helpers. They go when they want to and they stay away when they feel like. I will be visiting that place together with my people. Sometimes you don't even find them there. You don't even find the very man standing there. So it's an unfortunate situation. I believe that the members in this who have some ways and means of helping the church to walk through the ticket commission so that we can have teachers that are on government payroll, people who are committed, who we know are teaching in our schools. But these are just I see they are all in college. Let us but that is not the picture, please. That is not the picture. So I would like to get you to understand that this is the situation. At another time we come here and we report a different thing. They are helpers. I repeat, they come when they like, they go when they like. I think those are just a few. There are too many, but then we will be talking about that later on. Let's note that the furniture you receive from the ministry, you should have highlighted it in your report.
Mr. Principal, I hope you will take note of those points that you have shared and made. Hand up.
Mr. Chairman, it's concerning what the official was saying. I think most of these issues should have been dealt with at the education committee level. When we come here, I think they should even be assisting the caretaker principals and principals to prepare their reports for this body. Most of those things should be dealt at their level, not for us to come and labor on those points. That's why it's been the education secretary of this connection. We expect much from him.
Thank you, Brother Johnson. Okay. Any other? No? Okay. Thank you, Brother Principal.
We want to thank you, Mr. Mawa. You should leave us now.
Good afternoon again, everybody. Before going for lunch, we have the General Superintendent report. We shall now discuss that report. The floor is open for comments, contributions. I will direct this session by asking if anybody has comments. I am playing for time, and this is COVID period. So may I be allowed, sir? Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. I just noticed here that the Thomas Ishias Memorial shall stand alone. I need some explanation of that.
For 2021.
For 2021.
Leave the entire section.
Yeah, for 2021. Why? Why would they stand alone?
Because it is under the supervision of the General Superintendent for now. We have not constituted it as a society.
Okay.
So we are building the society. And it's the recommendations.
And we don't have ministers running that church.
We would attach the stationary committee. Will give you, is going to post one minister.
Okay.
For the period.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Page 1, page 2, so that we do fast.
I will not, sir. I will ask if you have page 40, tell me page 40. Quick. And if you don't, you are supposed to have the ready report. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Consign no donation. Consign no donation.
Okay, hold on.
May I just continue to ask, because the response you gave for me doesn't seem very clear. Page 10, page 10.
Yes, go ahead.
First recommendation. General Superintendent recommending that but at the same time asking for it to be approved as a society. So I want to ask, why are we approving?
I would recommend that you read the entire section. It says it stands alone. Thomas Bishop's memorial was after the church. They are approved as a society of the West African Methodist Church, and that she stands alone for 2021.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. The approval is one part.
Postings will generally take place next year. And we have only 1 year to go. So we're suggesting that we station somebody under the supervision of the General Superintendent for a year. And thereafter, proper postings will be made.
Thank you.
Yes. You can go traditionally page 1, page 2. But we have to manage time.
Concerning all the donations, I want to move a motion that a letter be sent to all these people from this assembly for their donations to this connection.
Any seconder to that motion? Any seconder to that motion? That is concerning the consultative meeting. The brother has moved the motion that all donations to the connection that we do to that motion? Okay. Thank you.
Yes, going further, Mr. Chairman. Last year, under donation, 5 million euros was donated and to Kabbalah, and this assembly choose some members of Kabbalah committee. We are expecting them to come here again and report to us what they have done during the period of this 1 year from the assembly.
I don't know if that will be reflected in the report for Kabbalah. But I trust when we get to the report for Kabbalah Society, would agree.
But Mr. Chairman, that money was not given to Kabbalah Circuit. This assembly selected a committee
for progress. We shall discuss that under Kabbalah. Yes, we move on. Page 1, page 2, page 3. Contributions, page 4, page 5. Yes, please. Put another for go at I
am referring to page 2.
Okay.
Page 2, number 2, the strategic plan, 5-year strategic plan of the WRC, and an update what has been happening so far.
The operational plan has been redrafted by the consultant. I will be presented tomorrow after the session. Sorry? COVID, sir. COVID. The answer is COVID. We could not implement.
Mr. Chairman, members, about page 4.
Yes, please.
Item number 4, the consultative meeting. It would be good for us to know whether that idea was brought from the Minister's Fellowship, whether it yielded good fruits and what is the percentage that was yielded.
Can I have your question again?
The quantum of what we receive from that quantitative, or we call it consultative meeting. And whether it has been continuous. Because we are still to know whether our ministers who are posted in the provincial areas, if they are not still indebted to, if we don't still owe them. And whether some of the liabilities of the connection, for example, are very immediate past, general lieutenant, pension, I call it, gratuity has been paid. These are all of the many things that we take at our Minister's Fellowship that motivated us to come up with this. So we don't know whether that has actually. I want to thank the senior superintendent. I clearly stated the amount that was collected, and most families and individuals pledged and gave amounts that were specific. For example, some people said I will pay for 1 month for this circuit, and they did. There was no specific money or pledge for the payment of the immediate past penalty tenants. terminal gratuity. Societies have been charged with that responsibility, and they are supposed to be paying every month. Most of the ministers are still being owed, because at the point in time when this meeting was called, some people were owed 8 months, 9 months, some almost a year. As of date, I would assure you that it has come down to virtually something like 8 months, 7 months, but most people have been paid, and all of the money that were contributed or sent were utilized to pay off a number of. So that is it, sir. Not that. Unfortunately, one family was the only family that was giving monthly contribution to the collection of 1 million every month, and this was done up to December 2020. I don't know whether they intend to continue in 2021.
I hope that satisfies. Yes, brother, I'll to my colleague.
Chairman, let me begin on behalf of this house, commend the General Superintendent for this. Because when almost 56 million, and you notice that it is significant to the total spend for the down the review. Superintendent General, I want to thank you for this effort, because we know that these amounts collected for the year 20. It's just it's coming late. So the one which will definitely, I believe, the right. And it members all that please, when you are called upon, let's up. This is our beloved denomination. God bless you.
Thank you. Brother Fisher.
Mr. Chairman, in a similar vein, this is one for thank you to the General Superintendent for the idea. But the concern and worry is now in a be. If you see the ball small na market, no say Benidia. It must be say either na assessment them, we pay, because if you see it reach to that point say GSM therefore sit down for fend this way, then it means something they wrong somewhere. So in as much as this na fine idea, but we don't for left that way it calls to this kind of thing unattended to. I know they ask for make they explain to this assembly what is necessitate this kind of thing, but like a new way they with church too, and some of the one they already are, we don't see nothing they make to. So be one for encourage them one day way, not they pay their assessment. I want for encourage them one day way, if they pay themselves, it can late when they put this strain on the connection. So I said to the late Farmer Chief Dibali, they talk to me. Reverend Achakambu mentioned on that this morning for the Tikon thing. He said, Fisher, when you make una left here, una go. I said, Chief, me not be born yet, sir. He said, well, Reverend Diamond, I been it to him. He said, well, una go, una left here. He said, Methodist, me na Methodist, but we don't take her. So you may look, say, investment, no, they not sign on the way we go out, say, we go get for support the church. Pass me the very assessment, honest, small things. So they appeal to the churches that we present here today. That way calls for make this trying to be. If fine for make with the ground. But that way calls, let me try for improve on the performances there. It good, but that's the way like we are go. There we try, let we support the connection. Finally, I come back to waiting before that very talk. And the poor's motion say, they want the way to give this money for go tell them thank you. When they want the way the years they use the money for pay, so man don't eat and don't forget, and now you go tell him how we do thank you. I believe say on the spot, we from the try for us spontaneously. They give me money for something today, then we tell thank you one thing. Me suffer bits that this Congo turn and me daddy hand. Because you're not gonna feed me down, I wait take back on my work before I tell mama thank you. As soon as I put the pan down and they come to me, mama thank you. He say, all right, go now, let go wash the pan. So this now for left, let we immediately acknowledge people there for waiting and do for we. Let we not wait past assembly. We will report to assembly. And that's what I forces.
Okay, thank you, sir. I have two things. Quick one. Brother Fisher, you come on our village. If you see go and pick the gun after and wait to care. I think the other time, not so sad. If I tell you now, the when the GS make this appeal, it was in the middle of the COVID. Societies were not paid. Plenty society now, November, December, they pay. And we get concerned because the people there, some man, 8 or 9 months, they don't pay. But that, be that as it's paid, I want as a connection, as sincere members of this connection. One wants to know member. So church get for good money. But the whole project they go on, nobody know the talk. What we are saying is that can we come together? We know the problems that we need now. I mean, I can feel that for some Monday, 8 months, almost at the salary. When you don't pay 8 months. And by the time they pay a penny back, you don't know. When you increase the assessment, but there is need, and when we get the financial report, we go look at it. Brother Fisher, the question about saying that, I don't think say anybody there, whether we can give something at the correction or 10 times, the way to say we can accept. They are saying this assembly as a body should recognize these people. Not to say they don't be not telling thank you. The GSC sent a personal letter. But we are saying the assembly, seeing their effort, is saying, una do well. So it's an additional thank you, sir. Any more? Yes.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes.
Page 6.
Go ahead.
What are we going to do to the people who have not paid, the adults who have not paid their 300,000? I think it should be a bit possible for people to pay this money.
We are waiting for your recommendations. I'm waiting for the next 6 months for all man. You know.
But this was an appeal by the GS.
Master, yes. They carry the us to our water. But you don't force our money. You will see the recommendations coming up. Some of these have been looked at and new recommendations are coming up. Some people tell me, yes, we don't say all man of it, but give it you get, let go see it down. But with the guys, let's go that way.
I think say local assembly, sir. We'll go back and church there and talk to people there.
That's it.
Yes, it's a need there for this money so that the building will go through. So we all go down, we all get church that will promote. If we take them, if now first Sunday, we explain to people that I think say go use some food. I can talk to people and coax them. If now 50,000 and they pay as first one, they go pay a loan. Not to buy post, but you are go back now with church there and beg people there so that they will pay this money.
Why should we on that matter? Last assembly, we see also when that church will not be paid. Then 1 month, wherever contribute. Then 250,000. We don't come back there. Okay, sir. Thank you for your question. Yes, Mother Jones.
For the chairman, on page 6, the WMR's monitoring project.
Yes.
When I looked at the report, I was of the opinion that one of the ways in which we'll be able to raise funds is to acknowledge the efforts of people or churches that have been contributing significantly. I thought the report should have mentioned that at the 6 months masses, an award was given to Jordan West African Methodist Church for contributing most significant sum ever contributed.
Yes.
And it was not captured by this. And if it is not captured by this, it will not be in our history and it will be lost. That effort alone. And we will not be able to cajole our members to do more. So I think that bit ought to have been reported, especially when the sum collected was for this particular building efforts.
You have a valid point, but I don't know if the chairman for 6 months or the correctional executive will capture that in his report. But that's a valid point. That's a very valid point. Any other contribution? We're still on the GSS report. That's what the senior superintendent.
Mr. Chairman, we are here again, this historic meeting. Yes. Looking at page 8, item number 10, mediation Jordan Society of Town. Please, this is an assembly. What is happening? What is the way forward for our dear beloved Jordan Society?
Other superintendent, a member of the executive. Can you tell us what you do? Why? Because I am sure you are part of the decision and you are aware of the update.
Mr. Chairman, I was appointed one member of the 3-man committee of the executive that to mediate with Jordan Society and the Trust Board. The chairman, the general superintendent, has in his report, and the assistant general superintendent made many efforts to mediate, but as reported, they were unable to find a common ground. So they brought it to the executive, and the executive asked 3 of us to mediate between Jordan Society and the Trust Board. Brethren Nat Williams, Dr. Obi, and myself, since I think November or so, we made every effort to contact members of Jordan Society to meet with them. I made personally over 20 phone calls with the senior society steward, but they could not afford us a meeting. And fortunately, it was at a collectional executive meeting, and they promised that after that collectional executive meeting, they will call us so that we could meet. But up till now, they have not called us, so that's how far we have gone with it. So perhaps Jordan Society can explain what they know.
Can I ask that you meet with them and give us a report by tomorrow?
Yes, if they so desire.
Sir?
Madam Chairman and members of this very noble meeting, the issue of Jordan Society has been settled. It was settled on the 16th of February 2020 when the defunct trust board was voted out.
Mr.
I'm coming, sir.
Can you allow me to chair?
Yes, sir.
What I wanted, the female committee has been formed,
Yeah.
and you have been called and you make no reply. So I am suggesting that you have a word with the female committee and we have a special report on that.
Can I give you the update now, sir?
No, sir.
It is better for us to have the
What I am
update
saying,
now.
you may not, sir. My point,
I think it's my right, brother J, Assistant J, to report to this noble.
I am saying, under the particular section.
Yeah.
I think we are discussing the general superintendent's report in front of us. And the general superintendent explained to us that the executive has taken up this issue and the executive should report. If Jordan Society is saying now that they want to come and explain here, it's blatant disrespect for the executive of this collection. They should have respected the executive and talked to the executive and will find a way forward. It's as if they did not recognize the executive, they only recognize the assembly. Thank you. Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir, Brother Chairman. I believe that I am an executive member. I have the right to explain to this noble house.
It's not a question of rights. I have a right as a chairman, but I want to direct something in a manner. And we have time constraints. We want to listen to you. I am saying, put your thoughts together. And
we are not already put our thoughts together. We are not already put our thoughts together, sir. We have already put our thoughts together.
My brother. Okay, why did you not respond to me?
Because we are having a meeting incident to that one. That's why we did not respond.
And you didn't think it was appropriate to go back to the chairman?
We are acting on the mandate of the church. We are acting on the mandate of the church, sir.
Is it the mind of the house that it goes forward? Hold on.
Mr. Chairman, sir, as my brother said it earlier, the connection and executive should be respected. Letters were sent in and out, back and forth to them, as calling on them to meet with the connection and executive to resolve this. If they have done it, it is their responsibility to inform the connection and executive that we've settled our matter. And this, when the General Superintendent is reporting, we report to us, the General Assembly, that this matter has been settled. I captured something that he said the matter was settled on the 16th of February 2020, which I'm doubting. I'm doubting that date. I'm not in Jordan, but I'm doubting that date. February 16, 2020.
Members of the Assembly. The hand is up on the same matter.
On the same matter, sir. Mr. Chairman, besides the fact that Brother Johnson made a statement in respect of the GS report, he made an allegation which ought to be answered. If it is not answered, there is something that is left in our minds which is incomplete, which is incorrect. That is why I believe that an opportunity must be given for that allegation to be answered. You would all agree with me that this particular item is a significant issue in the report. If it is so significant that it was actually raised as a point of discussion by another member who is not even part of Jordan or not even part of any of the societies connected. So I do not see what is the haste in which we want to dismiss the matter and take it back to the committee.
Can you listen? I'm not saying it's just going to form part of the proceedings of the Senate. I am saying there are other matters that we can keep a separate line item for this matter. Having consulted, we will deal with it. We will never run away from issues. But the point at issue is the altercation now will take us to 7 o'clock.
That is true, sir.
That is my.
So when are we going to deal with it?
Sometime tomorrow, if.
May I suggest we deal with it during the reports from the Connectional Executive Committee, because there is something mentioned in that report that we would like to address.
We shall duly inform you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, sir.
We're still on the general superintendent. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We're still on the general superintendent's report. Any more contribution? Any more contributions? I am not getting you, sir.
Yes, sir. My attention just go to item 5, that's recommendation, which is B. Item 11.
Yes.
That the collection encourages societies to survey and register their church and all of that. I think that is an pertinent issue for this body for giving much attention to, taking into consideration the gathering of land. And moreover, now that we take the location to the provinces, for paying much attention to them land grabbing. And I want that this body pay very good attention to that issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. The brother is making a salient point to societies and the connection, and there is need for us to survey and register our properties. It's a general claim, but then always we complain money no need, money no need. But giving the background now in the country, I think we need to be serious about that. Yes, anyone? Yes. But after that, we have
Mr. Chairman, members.
Mr. Chairman, I refer to page 8, item 11, launching of autobiography of Reverend Jeremiah Kotu Moshore Black. We West African Methodists, we are invited to the ceremony. It was an impressive ceremony. And even members of other denominations were there. And such laudable things were said about the past general superintendent. It was so attractive that at that launching, some people bought copies of the book. I think the intention here is that the West African Methodist Church should benefit from that. And it would appear as if we leave the matter as it is, we'll simply forget it for good. I want to urge us to make sure that we buy copies of this book. If we cannot do so even as individuals, let us endeavor as societies, constituent societies of this connection, to buy a copy each. We can keep them in our libraries, and they will serve a good reference purpose. That is the appeal I want to make with this assembly.
I would support you by asking the chairs to bring copies of the book to this assembly. Yes, Brother Madam Jones.
Page 11.
Sorry?
Item 5 and 4. Regarding it is, I think it was a discussion. Then there are copies made to the connection. What is the status, sir?
Thank you very much. I think the assembly approved that, and it is only Samia Society that has forwarded copies of their property registration and policy. No other society has. Most times people assume that the connection will want to take their property. The original is always society. How can we? I'm sure we are not ticket lawyers who go and change the bill or whatever it is. But let me assure you that it is good, because if something happens, you could always fall back and you would get at least a copy that you could use. The reason why I have brought this forward again is because we have so many lands we are claiming is ours, but we don't have documents to show that they are ours. And if we do not make sure we try to register this or get the necessary compliance is done. I am sure in the next 10 years, the present generation, somebody will come up and say, my great grandfather had this land or this church, and will claim it. Yes, so that is why I have put forward, and I hope societies will take this seriously and will do what is necessary. Like I said, I commend Samaria. They have submitted theirs. Thank you very much, Samaria. Yes, sir.
For this implementation of this session, I have to submit that we must see this collection as one step that will handle this issue. Yes, that the collection was supposed to be formed so that this issue will be handled by them.
Shortly, I want to add an emphasis to what Brother Johnson has just said. What we need, I'm saying this also from a professional point of view. What we need to do is to do exactly what has been prescribed in the Constitution. If we don't go by it, we can never get things right. In that Constitution, it makes provision for the Connectional Property Committee. If that committee does not exist, we cannot get those documents, neither can we get them registered. It also makes provision for the Connectional Trust Board. The non-existence of that trust board has a significant impact on what happened in our church, which we will be reporting. Similarly, the Constitution makes provision for the Circuit Trust Board. These are different stages of trust board which will be handling the different properties of society up to the collection level, up to the property level. If those committees, boards are all operational, I don't see how we will be having any problems with our properties. And I think this assembly should seize the opportunity to correct those things. And I think that we should start by applauding Jordan West African Methodist Church for taking the most significant improvements and most progressive step in the century past, especially when this year is making us 173 years of existence. Something we never knew unless we did our investigations in respect of our properties. We will be submitting that soon. But the assembly should seize this opportunity to put into existence those bodies. Then things will be answered. Our property is our strength in physical terms. Spiritually, Christ is our hope. But the properties that we have is our strength, and we should enhance it, both societies and the connection.
Thank you very much, my brother. He has brought out a significant point. If we are so desirous, it is in the Constitution, I would require a motion that this assembly, during the course of this media, implement those. We need, because there has been several reasons why those boards have not been working. This year has moved it.
Many back, send names into for can form that body. So it don't be materialized at all. The brother, they talk about the property committee. That one day we must get reason why that it just go like how we go. Because when we remember the voice of brother, the late brother Nelly Smith, and in complaint when we bring in an assembly about societies for even reveal the property outside the day. It is a fed up. And I believe say the late with one way me know, Padien K. Brown, the late IT Wallace Johnson. Then one day in the property committee secretary. I remember a small when he take the book at one assembly in Mantoria because he tired. So brother Dennis Smith self come, he spend your time, he tired.
Who signed the book now, sir?
So I think say if we get people them for tell me the story, waiting to be the reason. We make people that don't want to talk about this property. When are the reason this even when the former years been sent to we say for that was born. If I'm not like I think that with 3 circuits now US born. So the big one the day with the small one then like the Waterloo circuit with the one tuna. I believe say if one of the big one then we get property, capital property, we own the send the information there. We will leave it there and we not go afraid, we will do it. So let me go back and search the consciences. Let me go back and review why perspective trial and fail. We not go failing out from answer the questions then and the proposal we the board don't make. This now work with this connection get follow and we follow am quick.
Okay, sir. Yes, Brother Captain.
Thank you very much, Brother Fisher. Because of what we envisaged at our great Jordan society, that's why at a particular quarterly meeting, we spoke about this circuit trust board, but to no avail. So it's an issue in the Western Methodist Church. That's why, as my learned brother said, we have to commend Jordan for a work well done.
Thank you very much, brother. Senior Super. Yes, sir. Do you want to confirm that